Welcome to the Wild and Free with Anna Love podcast. I am your host, Anna Love. Wild and Free was born to inspire women to release old patterns that have kept them from living their best life. As a subconscious freedom specialist, I strive to reprogram and reframe generational trauma, not only in myself and the lives of my 3 daughters, but for those who are ready to transform anxiety, fear, and shame into authenticity, freedom, and love. Whether you are 20 years old or 70 years young, buckle up for raw and honest explorations in doing the work necessary so that you may shine your brightest light from your heart and onto the lives of others. Welcome to Wild and Free podcast with Anna Love, and I am Anna Love. I am so excited to be here. Today is another favorite topic of mine, which is finding your purpose and even figuring out what is purpose. For me, I feel that purpose is something that we are innately given by source, by God, by the universe, by our maker when we come into this body form. It is up to us to discover within ourselves what our true purpose is. And how do we know? Well, we follow our intuition. We follow what we know inside our body to be signals, to be communications, to be feelings, gut instincts. And I heard something that I actually think is very true, that if we were to go back to being a child between the ages of 7 to 14, what was it that we really, really were compelled to do during those ages? And if we really nail that down, we then can find our purpose through there. Because whatever we are truly, now, given that we even had the resources for this, right? So growing up in different families, we may have access to different things, or we may be closed off from having access to different things because of financial reasons, or just however our parents or our caregivers are raising us, and if they're giving us exposure to lots of different things. So that being said, even so, like I grew up in a family where there wasn't a lot of resources. However, I still felt that I was drawn to certain things. I was drawn to talking to people about their feelings if they allowed me to and if they wanted to explore it. I was, most of the time when I became a teenager and definitely into my early adulthood, working with and talking to family members that were having issues with other family members. And instead of doing it their way, they just wanted to cut people off. I said, well, let's look at it another way. Isn't there another perspective? What are you actually feeling? I hear you saying this and I see you acting in this way, but what's really going on underneath? I believe that my true purpose is now finally being fulfilled in my life, where I am talking about things with people. I am coaching women to really notice how are their behaviors and their patterns and their reality, and where does that come from? How is the way that they're being hiding or helping them? Because a lot of the times we are unaware of this, as was the case when I was a teenager. And noticing things in my family, we were just running off of old patterns. We were running off of ways of being that our predecessors were modeling for us. And one of the tragic things in life that I believe is when we are not living our true purpose. And when we are not living our true purpose, we are on autopilot, or we are just doing things to get through the day, to put food on the table, to survive. And that is the opposite. That is not the reason for purpose. For purpose is meant to put you on the track to fulfillment. And it starts with self-fulfillment. So when we follow our gut instincts and things that have us feeling creative and feeling very high vibe, then we are more apt to be happy, to be living in joy, to want to connect with others, to share our love, to share what it is that we know. And when we follow that path, that beautiful path, Where does it take us? It's the unknown. But when we do not follow this path, and when we are not aware that we all have a purpose, we end up in situations that maybe we're in a situationship with our partner, or maybe we have friends that we're hanging out with, or maybe we've picked out, we're studying something in school, or we've gotten a degree in college, and we're like, what am I doing with these friends? What am I doing with this degree? What am I even doing in this job? And I know that I worked in a lot of jobs. From the time that I was, I want to say 14 was my first job. And I just would go out there and I would, do all kinds of things just to make money. I was not living my purpose in any of those jobs, whether I was a clerk or working at a grocery store or scooping ice cream, lots of things, right? Once I got into my career, I knew that I was there where I was teaching kids. That is part of my purpose, but there was something missing, something lacking. And I started another company called Tiny Chefs. And again, I felt a little more fulfilled there because I was getting into entrepreneurship and didn't realize that that was my purpose, was growing and expanding in that way. There was still something missing. And I went into coaching and I found it. It was like, ding, ding, ding. This is exactly what I was meant to be doing. But I will say this, it was hidden so far down and it was covered up with limiting beliefs. I remember when I was in high school wanting to pursue being a psychologist in college and then telling myself that I wasn't smart enough, I didn't have what it took to get through the schooling. So I talked myself out of it, and that's how I sort of got into teaching. Not that teaching was a horrible experience, it was amazing, and I got to work with kids, but it was really something there that wanted something different, and I didn't follow the path. So what I believe is it's okay. Even if I didn't become a psychologist, now, 30 years later, I am doing my purpose and I am happier than ever. So that's my take on purpose. And I also feel that when we, as humans, have a purpose, we feel that we are giving value and we feel valued. So we want to continue doing that. We want to put our all into it. It makes us feel that we are committing to something and we are offering the best that we have to whatever it is that we are doing. And for me, it's giving to another. It's connecting with another. It's helping another shed light on something that they are struggling with or dealing with, bringing them to the next level. That is my true purpose. So what is your purpose? Are you living your purpose? How did you find your purpose? And are you still looking? And if you are still looking, I want you to meditate on it, meaning closing your eyes, going inward, exploring you as that younger child between 7 to 14. What was it that you would have or did enjoy doing? And if you might find some resistance, there might be a party that comes in and starts to defend and say, well, I couldn't do anything. We didn't have any money. I had to sit in my room. I want you to imagine the essence of you and what would have gotten you so excited. Would it have been being in adventure, being in nature? Would it have been cooking and baking? Would it have been writing or reading or singing or theater? Just let yourself explore inside this meditation and you will start to find the answers. And I remember when I first started this exploration myself, it took me a while and I was getting frustrated with myself. I was saying, life is good right now, but there's something missing. There's something missing. And I actually had hired a couple of coaches to help me work through my shadows and all of that good stuff. And they had said to me, you are a coach. You are specifically a women's empowerment coach. And I was so far removed from that version of myself because I was so still bogged down with like unresolved trauma. To be quite honest, I didn't have my inner stuff worked out. And I couldn't even find what my purpose was. And I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a purpose. So I started to really clear out limiting beliefs, clear out negative emotions that I was holding on to, clear out my victimhood mindset and way of being and way of thinking. And then little by little, I remember it was during COVID, I started to see things differently. And I had to just look myself in the face in the mirror and admit it to myself. I said, Anna, you are a coach. They weren't wrong when they saw that in you. So then I started to see it in me. This is why a coach is so valuable, because you have blind spots. We all have them. And it's important to have other people give their honest opinions and reflections about you, whether it's a friend, family members, or someone that you trust to bring you through and out of your shadows and into your truth and into your knowing and into your purpose, so that you can live free, that you can live wild, so that you can be out there in the world offering the best of you to you, your family, your friends, and the people that need you. And I also told myself, because I had some fears when I said, oh, okay, I'm a coach. Now what? Now let's go get some certifications and let's go learn a few things so I have tools to teach people. I already knew that I had my experiences and they were going to be great leverage points, but I wanted some tools. But it's important to honoring your truth, honoring who you are, always coming back to just sitting, being quiet inside, and seeing what comes up. So it's important that you realize that your knowing is so far buried under your limiting beliefs and your negative emotions, and you don't know what you don't know. Anyway, we'll go ahead and just wrap this up. So thank you so much for listening. I am very excited to hear your input on this topic, and let's go ahead and sayonara. See you next time. Love you all. Join me for a free transformative masterclass where I'll guide you to design your dream life. You will learn about your unique blueprint and how to shift your reality. Creating a new you is made possible by elevating your conscious awareness. My 21-day Habit Shifters Challenge offers you an opportunity to shift and grow 1 millimeter at a time. If you are looking to upgrade your habits so that you can create a life that lights you up, you'll want to check out the challenge. Say goodbye to feeling stuck in unfulfilling routines and say hello to daily habits that bring you energy, joy, and calm. Stop struggling to create positive changes and start being the person you are meant to be with ease. Join with the link in the show notes, and as always, let me know how it goes. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Wild and Free with Anna Love and being a part of this magical journey with me. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe and share with someone you love, even someone you just like. Bonus points if you leave a review. Show notes below gives you everything that you'll need to know, and I'll see you next time. So long for now.